Today we are making a video on Ubuntu Unity 23.04 Lunar Lobster. Ubuntu Unity 23.04 is a flavor of Ubuntu 23.04. So this is the latest version and a stable version, and here is a boot menu. In order to boot it in a live boot, try or install Ubuntu Unity. So let's boot it in a live boot. It's going to take a maximum of 1 minute or a minimum of 30 to 40 seconds, because that's the usual time of every Linux distro will take to load up the desktop layout. Sometimes the heavy resource consuming Linux distro will take more than like a 1 minute 30 seconds or a 40 seconds to almost 2.5 minutes, like that. So I forgot to mention that I'm running it on a virtualization, which is a VMware with 80 GB of hard disk, 2 processors and 4 GB of RAM. So it's going to boot up in any second. We should just wait for a few seconds again. I will be posting 2 videos daily without missing any day. I already made a content on it. If you want to watch the other video, just watch it after this video completely. So again, it's going to take a few more seconds to boot up or load up everything. So let's wait. I think we should be having our desktop layout loaded completely. And it's a stable version. If you want to try it, it's always a better option to boot it in a live boot first and use it for 7 to 8 hours. And don't save anything in a live boot, because it's going to erase everything after you reboot or try to remove this live boot. So it's a tip from me or a suggestion from me. It's always better to boot it in a live boot first, use it for 7 to 8 hours or a maximum of 1 day. And then if you are satisfied with any without any bugs, and if you love it, or if you're satisfied with the Linux distro, go to the installation. So that's the tip I am going to give you, because I don't want you to ruin your PC just trying to install first instead of trying to live boot. So that's the main tip I want to give it again, and I'm going to repeat again and again, because always try it in a live boot first, then go to the installation for your hard disk or a VMware. If you are using in a VMware, it's properly or good to go and it's fine to use. If you are using it on a hard disk, so it's better to boot it in live boot. So here it is, our desktop layout almost booted or loaded everything completely. So I was saying that I'm running a VMware, so I need to change my display settings. So let's go to the applications. Let's see. Applications, filter list, it's not going to show that like that. Let me type in settings. This is the weirdest Linux distros I have seen. Let's go to system settings. Let me change the display settings. Mine is 1920 into 1080 with a 16:9 ratio. The resolution is available in the settings. So let me change the display resolution first, because it's pretty odd to see like that. So you need to keep this configuration. So you will be again asked. So here is the display resolution. So let's go to the all settings. We should find something like that. Let me close this thing and let's open the system monitor first. So because we need to see the system resources first, how much resources are consumed before I'm going to show it again at the end of the video. So let me open the system monitor first. So these are all the processes running right now. You need to open the system monitor first instead of opening the other apps. So the version is 44, and you should check the RAM resources and the CPU. So you should be having an idea of how much resources are consumed. And after using for few hours, then go to the after using all the features and some of the settings and the applications opened, then go again and check the resources. You should be having exact numbers of how much resources are consumed before and after. I'm going to do that thing in this video. So you should be having an exact numbers of how much resources are consumed. So if you want to remember this information, you need to remember this because I'm going to open it again at the end of the video. So you should tally, or you should be getting an exact numbers. So if you don't want to write it down, or if you don't want to remember, just put my videos side by side and you should be having an exact numbers. So that's the tip I'm going to give you. So right now it's almost a 1.2 GB of RAM, of 4 GB, which is 30%, and CPU is also almost good, because as you can see we ran it almost 1 minute. It's a stable and under like 15 to 20%. That is pretty much good. And this is a network, you don't need to worry about the network. It's a file system. So let's open the system monitor version. It's a system monitor version. So let me close this thing and open the terminal or the command. Terminal, let me type in terminal. Here is our terminal. Let's open the terminal and check the version of the terminal first, and let's go to all these things. Version is 3.48.0 for GNOME 44. Let's maximize this thing and let's type in the command, which is inxi-sv8, and click on enter. It's going to give all the information or grab every distro information and provide us. So let's try to change the theme, because I don't know some people can properly see or not. Let's go to the preference and let's change the theme, which is black and white. This is the best settings. So let me maximize this thing and show you everything. A host is a Ubuntu Unity, and the kernel is 6.2.0-20. The latest version of kernel is a 6.3, which is released today. So, and you see it is a 64-bit architecture, and compiler is not available. Desktop is Unity, which is a version 7.7.0, and Compass version is 0.9.14.2. Light DM version is a 1.30.0, and distro is Ubuntu 23.04 Lunar Lobster. Even it's Ubuntu Unity 23.04, it's a flavor of Ubuntu, so it's going to say as a Ubuntu 23.04 Lunar Lobster. And on the machine side it says VMware, because I'm running it on a VMware, which is a virtualization. And the PhenoX version of a BIOS is 6.00. And here is the RAM consumption, or the RAM resources. I'm using a 4 GB of RAM, and it is using like a 1.14 GB, which is almost 30%. So this is my CPU information. If you want, you can read it. Here is the CPU information. Let's scroll down, and on the graphics it's a VM WGFX version is a 2.20.0. So, and the display is X11. Server Xorg version is a 1.21.1.7. Compositor Compass version is 0.9.14.2. So let's scroll it down, and the monitor, the available resolutions are here, or the monitor resolutions are here. And the API OpenGL version is 4.1. Mesa is 23.0.2. So let's scroll it down again, and we should be having some of the information again. Pulse audio version is 16.1. So let's scroll it down again. Here are some of the information. If you want to go through all these things, you can stop the video or pause the video. And it's 80 GB of hard disk. I choose 80 GB of hard disk for my VMware, so it says 80 GB here. So let's scroll it down. INXI version should be 3.3.25. GCC version is 12.2.0. Shell Bash version is a 5.2.15 or 15. Init systemd version is a 252. Processors running right now are 277. Uptime is 5 minutes, and wake ups is 55. So let's type in another command, which is inxi, which is the same command as the above, but in a short form. You will get the information in a short form instead of lengthy form. And another command is inxi-b. It's going to give the same information, just in a short form. Let's type in inxi-G and hit in enter. Again we got same information. Let's type in neofetch, because some people want to see the neofetch. Neofetch is not pre-installed. Let's try to install. For example, the command is sudo apt install neofetch. Click on paste, hit on enter. It's going to take a few seconds, a maximum of 30 seconds or minimum of 20 seconds. You need to type Y to install, Y for yes and no for no, N for no. It's going to take a few more seconds, and neofetch should be available in a few seconds. Almost 100%. We should be having our NeoFetch in any second. And after you typing the NeoFetch, I'm going to show you the headstop also. Let's type in NeoFetch, hit enter. Here is our NeoFetch, which is a Ubuntu 23.04 Unity. Host is a virtualization, VMware, kernel, uptime, packages, shell bash, resolution, desktop environment, and themes, icons, all the things, CPU, memory, all the things is here. So let's type in headstop. Headstop shouldn't be installed pre-installed. So let's try to install the headstop by copying the command, which is a sudo apt install headstop. Let's copy this thing and try to paste it here and click on enter. It's going to take a maximum of 12 seconds to install the headstop, and we should be having our headstop here. If you ask why you show headstop always, because I want to give every information for every kind of people. Some people likes the headstop, so this is for them. So the memory is almost 900 MB of 4 GB, and CPUs are upside and tasks are here. So we covered everything. Let's close this thing and let me show you how to download the Ubuntu Unity from their official website. So let's open the applications and let's type in the Firefox, because Firefox is the default web browser for almost every Ubuntu flavors and every Linux distro. Almost like a 70 to 80% of Linux distros uses Firefox. Some of them uses Chromium, some of them uses Falcon, some of them also uses the Microsoft Edge. So let's close this tab and check the version before going to their website. Version should be 111.0.1. So let's maximize this thing. Let's type in the system, which is Ubuntu Unity 23.04. Here is the system, and here are the daily builds, and here are this is the official website of Ubuntu Unity, which is ubuntuunity.org, and this is the direct download link. I'm going to open the two links, and you should be having the ISO files. Here is the URL to download, and you should check this always, because you need to download the proper ISO file. It says Ubuntu Unity 23.04 Lunar Lobster. It's not a daily build or a beta version, it's directly a stable version. So the file size of Ubuntu Unity is 3.1 GB, and this is also from their official website. You can download from their official website. If you ask me to download the Ubuntu Unity, if you say recommend this Linux distro, probably no, because it's a pretty odd Linux distro for me. So if you like it, I don't have any problem. For me, it's not a good idea, a good Linux distro. Ubuntu Kylin, Ubuntu Unity, and another flavor, I don't remember that. These three Linux distros are always the worst for me. So if you love it, I don't have any problem. So these are the changes. So if you want to go through all these things, you can go through all these things. So let me close this thing. Here is the download. Let me click and show you download. It's almost a 3.1 GB, and here is I'm using a VPN, so it's going to be slow. So let me close this thing. So this is the URL you need to type in, or you can directly type in the systems, and this is the official website. You can go to the official website to get some of the information. So let's try to install the Ubuntu Unity. I'm going to show you the installation process. I launched the installer. It's going to take a few more seconds, and we should be having our installer opened. So it is taking a few more seconds. Instead of waiting for that, let's go to the desktop features, accessibilities, some themes, notifications, internet connection, keyboard layout, or the selections of and volumes also is here, calendar and time, user, or the power off, or the logout shutdown options are here. So let's check the Ubuntu Unity about the computer. Unity 7.7, Ubuntu Unity, memory, and these are all the information which I already showed. So here is the installer. Again, same Ubuntu installer. The Ubuntu 23.04 with the GNOME desktop environment has only the newer installer. Every other flavors of Ubuntu has still the old version installer. So first you need to choose the language for the installer. I'm going to choose English. Click on continue. And keyboard layout, you need to choose your own language or your favorite language. I'm going to choose English United States on both sides. Click on continue. Here are some of the important things which are apps and updates and other softwares. If you want to go with a normal installation, you will get everything like a web browser, utilities, office software, games and media player, which is the best option for you, and this is the recommended, and I'm going to recommend this also. Minimal installation will only be having a web browser and basic utilities like a text editor, calculator, like that. So it's always better idea to go with a normal installation. And on the other options, it says download updates while installing Ubuntu. If you check this both buttons, it's going to help you in the installation process. If you want to uncheck this, you can uncheck it and do these things later. If you want to download the updates later, you can download it. If you want to install the third-party apps like graphics and additional for media formats like that, you can do that later. If you ask my opinion, it's better to check right now and sit back freely after later. So click on continue. It's going to says preparing Ubuntu driver. It's going to take like a 30 to 40 seconds maximum, and you should be having another option. So instead of waiting for this, let's check out other features like a desktop wallpaper. Change the desktop background. It's going to take a few seconds, so instead of waiting for that, let's check out the wallpapers. There are plenty of wallpapers available, I guess, almost lunar lobster wallpapers. Let me choose this wallpaper, and here is a theme of some of the best themes available here, and these are the things. Yaru, I think this is a light mode, and this is a purple Yaru dark. I want to see olive or olive. So these are all the wallpapers, new wallpapers. Let me choose this wallpaper, and behavior is here. You can customize it on your own, and the wallpaper size is 3840 into 2160, which is a 4K wallpaper. So these are all the settings. Let me first check this thing, and let's come back later to the settings. So this is the main the important thing you need to have an idea, or you need to know what you are doing here, because it's going to erase everything. If you choose erase disk and install Ubuntu, it's going to erase the current operating system, files, format, everything, and it's going to boot it in a single boot. If you choose something else, it's going to ask you to resize your partition. If you want to choose the dual boot, you can choose it here. If you want to single boot, you can single boot here. So you need to be very careful while choosing these things, and you should be having an idea what you're doing here. So after clicking on install now, it's going to take a maximum of 20 minutes or minimum of 5 to 10 minutes. It's going to depend on your PC and the Linux distro. So after it says after installation, it's going to say finish and reboot your system, and you should be having your Linux distro installed on your VMware or the hard disk, whatever the option you choose, you will be getting installed on that thing. So that's the installation process, and always try to boot it in a live boot first, then after satisfied, go with the installation. I am trying to say it again and again because I don't want you to ruin your PC. So that's the installation thing. So let's go back to the settings. These are all the settings available right here. So these are all the settings. If you want to customize, you can customize for mouse and touchpad, keyboard layout. All the settings are available right here. Wacom tablet, keyboard, shortcuts are here, and the power, Bluetooth. Just some of the basic and some of the important things. If you want to go through all this, you can go through on your own. So let me close this thing, and let's open some of the apps. I don't know why it doesn't shows every time the apps properly. We need to type in something like a alphabet A or like that. We should be seeing the applications here. See more results. It's always a weird Linux distro for me. I don't know why this thing they do like this. Let me open some of the important apps. Let's type in alphabet again, and let's scroll let's also open the Thunderbird. Thunderbird is also important. Let me show you just the important apps, not every app, because If I start to open the every app, it's going to take ages to open, and it's going to take a lot of time. Instead of waiting for that, let's do like this, just the important apps. The version for Thunderbird is a 102.10.0, which is same in every Linux distro or the same in every Ubuntu flavors. So let's check the LibreOffice version, which should be like a 7.5.2.2. Yes, it's a 7.5.2.2. Let me close this thing. And here is a Stacer. This application is commonly seen in a Linux Lite. So here are some of the resources. Let me quickly run through all these things because it's going to take ages. Let's go to all these things. CPU load average, memory, all these things are here. Let me close this thing. Stacer version is a 1.1.0. Let me close this thing. Quit. What else we still left here are, we opened the LibreOffice. Let me open the VLC media player. I think we covered everything, I guess. We don't want a transmission because it's a torrent client. Let me open Synaptic Package Manager. For VLC, the version should be like a 3.0.18 because that was the version in every Ubuntu flavors. So let's open the Synaptic Package Manager. Let's drag it down and let's check the version 0.91.3, which is latest. I'm going to scroll it down very fast. The installed version will be highlighted with a green color and the installed version will be right here. If you want to slow it down, you can slow it down in the playback speed in the YouTube settings to 0.25. The installed version will be like this with a green, and the installed version will be like this. So let me quickly run through all these things. If you want to change the slow, if you want to see it in a slow speed, you can change the playback speed to 1 to 0.25. It should be default as a 1. You need to change it to 0.25 and it should be slow, and you should be seeing every packages installed in here. So let me close this thing and let me open the system monitor and end the video because it's almost the everything, we showed everything. So check the resources and you should be having an idea of how much resources are consumed before and after. So these are all the processes. Let me show you the resources. The resources are right now is 1.7 GB. Before it was like a 1.2 or 1.3 GB. I don't really remember that. If you want to check that right now, you can put the video side by side, or if you did write it down in the previous, you can check that. So this is the RAM consumption right now. This is the CPU consumption. So that's it. Let me close this thing. And again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. It helps make a good content for you. Other than that, I'll see you in tomorrow's video. I already made another video, so if you want to check that out after this video. So I will be posting 2 videos daily. So this is the one video and the other one will be available right now.